Arkham Horror, The Card Game, The Dunwich Legacy. Scenario 5, Undimensioned and Unseen. Your search of the village of Dunwich has uncovered a number of documents, journal entries, and esoteric theories. Reading through these materials leaves you exhausted and emotionally drained. Most of the content was written by a single source, a man named Seth Bishop. When you ask around town, you learn that Seth is a citizen of Dunwich. Along with several others, Seth had witnessed firsthand the devastation wrought by the events of the Dunwich Horror, as Armitage had dubbed the incident. Curiously, since that time, very few people had seen Seth around town, and those who did claimed his eyes had been bloodshot and his face sweaty and pale. You don't doubt that somebody who has seen what Seth has seen would appear nervous or paranoid, but the more you read of his frantic and unhinged writings, the more you believe he is involved in recent events. His writings speak of having gathered the remains and of using arcane methods to imbue the Father's essence into other creatures and eventually into other people. The explanations and diagrams that follow are unfathomably complex and defy understanding. Before you're able to find Seth, you confront him. Several men and women from the village approach you in a panic. "It's back," one of them wails. You recognize him as Curtis Whately, one of the undecayed branch. "Whatever it was that killed them fries, it's back. Up and smashed the bishop's home like it were made of paper." Curtis and the other townsfolk are clamoring amongst themselves, raising their voices in a panic. The investigators must decide to try to calm down the townsfolk in order to earn more, or try to warn the townsfolk and convince them to evacuate. You warn the townsfolk that they are in grave danger and urge them to flee Dunwich while they can. Several of them immediately heed your advice, remembering the terrible monstrosity that had previously endangered the town. Curtis drops to his knees in despair, sweating feverishly. "It's that thing again, ain't it? It's come back for us," Curtis stutters. "I hope you got some of that powder the old professor had last time. We couldn't even see the damn thing until he sprayed it. To this day, I wish I hadn't seen it at all. Something must be done to stop the monster's rampage, but if the documents you found are true, there may be more than one such creature on the loose." Yes, there, Phoenix. Yes, we're going to play Undimensioned and Unseen. And let's see here. So pretty much it's because I lost the last one and everybody got sacrificed. This scenario is actually a little bit easier than I thought it would be. So it's not it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So let's see what we got here. So I've already got everything all set up. And let's see here. We're gonna gather the cards. And let's see. Well, I've already played a run through on this one, but we'll see. Things change. All right. And for the first time, instead of utilizing the app, we're gonna play it the way I guess it was meant to play. I'm actually gonna use the chaos bag off the side here when I do tests. I'm gonna try to use the chaos bag for once and see if that helps me any. All right, so we are in Dunwich Village. First thing we got to do, of course, is choose that here. I want to get the Dunwich. I'm probably going to replay the Dunwich campaign again, but I may try to do it two-handed, but I won't be doing that I will not be doing that on this desk. I'll probably be doing that offline. I want to do it two-handed, but not until because my inside pitch season starts Monday, and once I start that, I don't do anything else. So I want to get this Dunwich campaign done, I should say. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I did a few changes to his deck. Let's see, beat comp. We'll keep. Hypnotic gaze is good. We'll keep the ally overpower. I really like that as a weapon. I already got the beat cop. I don't need Peter Sylvester. I won't take the hypnotic gaze. We'll keep overpower. Keep the blinding lights. I just wish I had a lot. I just wish I had a lot of. I've been watching a little bit of that, Phoenix. I just wish I had a lot more space on this desk to play. And I'd rather use the cards, not the tabletop simulator. I really don't want to use the tabletop simulator. I'd rather use the cards. Although, when I play Arkham Horror on the tabletop simulator, I can do that online and then play the game itself offline. Something like that. Two more. And we get the grotesque statue, which I added. All right. Agenda 1A, rampaging creatures. Reports of terrifying entities wreaking havoc across the countryside have caused the citizens of Dunwich to panic. Worse, the creatures seem to be invisible to the naked eye. At the enemy phase, move each brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy once toward a random location. Act 1A, Saracenic script. The monsters tearing through Dunwich County are immune to additional weapons. Only by reciting a particular incantation can the creatures be defeated. First, you must search the ruins of Wilbur Whately's home in order to find the final sections of the otherworldly script. Objective: only investigators at Whately Ruins may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. We start in Dunwich Village. Got to get to here. All right. Dunwich Village. It is always a relief to get clear of the place and to follow the narrow road around the base of the hills and across the level country beyond till it rejoins the Aylesbury Pike. Afterward, one sometimes learns that one has been through Dunwich. And there is one clue there. Let's see. You borrow some hounds to track the creatures by scent. An investigator in Dunwich Village may place one of his or her clues on any abomination enemy in play. Okay, this was not an easy. It wasn't easy, but I was able to win it the first time, or at least Bill. There's only 2 of these things I got to worry about because everybody else got sacrificed. There's only 2 of these I got to worry about. And that's it. Only got to worry about 2 because the rest of them all got killed. So what happens is that when you go ahead and sacrifice, I'll show you the book here that, check the number of names recorded under sacrifice to Yog-Sothoth. If there are 4 more names listed, set 2 copies of Brood of Yog-Sothoth aside out of play. Then remove the final 3 copies of Brood of Yog-Sothoth from the game. So only got 2 of these to work with. Unfortunately, everybody died. And I think what I need to do is I need to replay the campaign, but this time go 2-handed. But we'll see. All right. We'll see what Culver can do here. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pay 4 resources to put out the beat comp. Put out the beat comp. Put them there. Beat comp. That's the first resource. And that's the first act. Second act, we'll investigate. Where's my thing here? So, investigate. So the shroud's a 3. So he is a 3. He is a 3 Culver here. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. So we got a 3 on a 3. So 3 on a 3. +1. We succeed. Get the clue. And on the third action, we'll move towards the 10-acre meadow, I think. Yeah, 10-acre meadow. The trees of the frequent forest belts seem too large, and the wild weeds, brambles, and grasses attain a luxuriance not often found in settled regions. At the same time, the planted fields appeared singularly few and barren. We just finished rereading the Dunwich horror, by the way. There are 3 clues there. There are 3 clues. All right. So, actually, you know what? Forget this. Give me a second. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll put it up here. Can't really see it. All right, there's no room on this thing. You thought it'd be a Batman thing. Not quite. All right, so that was the 3rd act. There's no enemies. Reset. Draw a card. Getting shriveling, which is nice to have. And a resource. Okay, so Doom on the agenda. Draw a card. Getting eager for death. Test 2. Willpower. Increase the skill test difficulty by 1 for each damage on you. If you fail, take 2 horror. Unfortunately, he started with 3. So that means that he has to test 5 willpower. That's 5 willpower. Let's see. He can be 4. And I'll use... we'll just test it, really. We're going to fail it anyway. This is going to be 4. So what is it now here? So for each, if you fail, take 2 horror. All right. So it's 4 on 5. And we fail, but we'll take 2 horror. All right. This is no enemies yet. Okay. So first act, spend the 2 clues. Put out the grotesque statue. More charges on that. Okay, so that's the first act. Second act, we got to investigate here. So he is a 3 on a 2. So 3 on 2. We succeed, get a clue. Third act, 3 on 2. And we fail that one. All right. Okay, so no enemies. Reset. Draw a card, give me the flashlight that I want. And a resource. Okay. Doom on the agenda. Yeah, you thought it'd be a Batman thing with Arkham Asylum, right? So, place Doom on the agenda. Draw a card, getting Altered Beast. If there are no abomination enemies in play, Altered Beast gains Surge. All right, so there are no abomination in play that gains Surge. We draw another card. Towering Beasts. Attached to a Brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy in play. If that enemy is at your location, take 1 damage. But there is no Brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy in play at the moment. There's no Brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy in play. So, if I'm correct, this gets surged. Now we get Rotting Remains. Test 3. Willpower. For each point you fail, take a horror. Use a 4. Just going to go with it. 4 on 3. We'll pass. Okay, so okay, so we got to get these other two clues there. We're going to need them. So let's, the first act, shoot, two. I think we do first is investigate. So it's a 3-on-2, succeeds. It's the first one. 3-on, we're going to investigate again. 3-on-2, that fails. And we're going to investigate again. 3-on-2, that succeeds. We get all the clues. So not bad. And let's see. All right, so no enemies. Reset. Draw a card. Getting water protection. Getting a resource. And that's it for that round. All right. So far, off to a decent start. I got to get to here next. So, Doom on the agenda. And let's see one thing here for a moment. We'll check the campaign book for a quick second. No problem. All right, so, the agenda, draw a card, getting dissonant voices. Put dissonant voices into play in your play area. You cannot play assets or events. At the end of the round, discard dissonant voices. So I cannot put anything into play, which kind of sucks, but I want to put something out. All right, very well. Let's okay, so far let's go move to the Wakely Ruins. So first act, Wakely Ruins. It was though a house launched by an avalanche had slid down through the tangled growths of the almost vertical slope. Each investigator in Wakely Ruins gets -1. Gets -1. And then we reach the Wakely Ruins. So only investigators at Wakely Ruins may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. So we reach the Wakely Ruins. We will spend the clues, which is 2. We need 2 clues to advance. We spend that. We advance the next act. If Dr. Armitage is listed under sacrifice to Yog Sothoth, which he is, using information contained within the ruins of the Wakely homestead, you are able to transcribe the remainder of the formula previously used by Dr. Armitage to destroy the beast that plagued Dunwich. However, the endeavor sets you back several hours. Each investigator puts into play one set-aside esoteric formula, which we have right here, and place 1 doom on the current agenda. Which goes there. And now we go to Act 2A. They must be destroyed. With the formula in hand, you finally have the means to destroy the creatures wreaking havoc in Dunwich, but only if you can survive. Long enough. Objective: defeat as many brood of Yog Sothoth enemies as you can. If there are no copies of brood of Yog Sothoth in play or set aside, advance. There are 2 total, so I got to destroy 2 of these things. So even though a lot got killed, everybody got killed, but let's see what we do. Okay, so that was not an action. So we have a second action. There are 2 clues here at Wakely Ruins. There are 2 clues. There are 2 clues. And second investigation, we will try to do it. And we will. So what we got here? Where did my pointer go? Okay, so we got two clues. So it's 3-on-3 fail and 3-on-3 fail. All right, so nothing good on that except we did move on. This invoices goes away. And that is the end of the turn. So no enemies. Reset. Draw a card, getting unexpected courage. And get a resource. All right. Well, a doom goes on the agenda, which will move it forward. Move it forward. An old pickup truck rolls to a stop along the weathered trails of Dunwich. The driver, Joe Osborne, calls out to you through a shattered driver's side window, the truck's engine still running. "It's over at the Eric's farm," he shouts. "Dunn blasted their place apart. Poor Henry and Martha." You ask Osborne for the location of the Eric's homestead, and it confirms your worst fear. For that attack to have occurred recently, there must be more of the monsters on the loose. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Spawn one of the set-aside brood of Yog-Sothoth enemies at a random location, if able. Okay, so we have to shuffle these back into here. And one of these joins the party. Question is which one, where it goes. Normally, what you're supposed to do, according to the campaign book, is to randomly select draw from the ones that didn't work. I'm just going to roll a 6-sided die and let the die decide. So we'll go. Right, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. The brood is in Blasted Heath. Make it easy. You got dice, use them. So Blasted Heath. Agenda 2A, biding its time. Once in a while, in a wind sweeping up out of Cold Spring Glen would bring a touch of ineffable fodor to the heavy night air. But the looked-for terror did not appear. Whatever was way down there in the glen was biding its time, and Armitage told his colleagues it would be suicidal to try to attack it in the dark. At the end of the enemy phase, move each brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy once toward a random location. I can use the D6 to do that the whole time. That's what I did the last time. All right. Okay, so that takes care of the agenda. Now we got to draw, and we get ruin and destruction. If there are no investigators at the same location as a brood of Yog-Sothoth, ruin and destruction gains surge. There are none, so that's surged. So that is surged out. So that's surged. So that's surged. Draw another one. Lupine Thrall. Farthest spawn, farthest location from you. I'm gonna say it's in probably the same thing. 1, 2. Dunwich. I'll put it in Dunwich Village. Lowest agility, hunter, retaliate. So I got to deal with that thing now. All right. So I got to destroy a brood of Yog-Sothoth. So all right, so I think I'd actually rather just have this thing probably. I don't want to come to me. Actually, Whiteley Ruins is actually one of the best places to be because you can put 3 clues on a brood to do damage to it. We got to get those clues anyway. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to first thing. Let's see. Let's see. First thing I want to do is I'll put out the flashlight. Put the 3 charges on it. That's that. That was the first act. Second act, we'll go to Whiteley Ruins. We'll use that one. So that turns that into a. So that turns that into a 1. So it's going to be a 3 on. It's going to be a 3 on 1, which we'll get the clue. Third act, again 3 on 1, and we get the clue. Very good. All right. So it's good on that. So no enemies in the area. Enemies move, so Lupine Thrall will move to the 10-acre meadow. So will the brood of Yog-Sothoth. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, wait a minute. That's not a hunter. Wait a minute. Enemy wants towards a random location. My bad. So the Lupine moves close, but the brood can either go to the Devil's Hop Yard or the 10-acre meadow. So I got to roll for that. 1 to 3 here, 4 to 6 there. Move to the Devil's Hop Yard. Maybe it's better it did go there. That'd be random. Okay. So I'll probably have to deal with the Lupine Thrall, which I'll probably take care of. All right. So that's the enemy phase. Reset actions. Draw a card, getting another grotesque statue. And gain resource. Okay. Mythos. 1 doom on the agenda. Draw a card, getting again ruin and destruction. If there are no investigators at the same location as a brood of Yog-Sothoth, ruin and destruction gains surge. Altered Beast. If there are no abomination enemies in play, Altered Beast gains surge. Otherwise, choose an abomination enemy, heal all damage to the enemy, and attach Altered Beast to it. Attach Altered Beast to it. So it goes. So now the Altered Beast goes with this. Force, when you enter attached enemy's location or vice versa, take a horror. So there's nothing to hurt it, but it is there. All right. Our turn. All right, we are going to. We're going to. Let's see. I'll do here. I think I'd rather have the Lupine Thrall come to me, but I think I'm going to leave the Whiteley Ruins and go to the Cold Spring Glen. So first act, we're going to move to the Cold Spring Glen. God, he gasped. I told him not to let her go down the glen, and I thought nobody would do it with them tracks and them smelling them whippoorwills are screeching down there in dark noonday. No clues there. Each enemy in Cold Spring Glen gets -1 evade. After Cold Spring Glen is chosen as a random location, investigator in Cold Spring Glen tests 3 agility. If successful, choose a different random location. Well, I don't have to worry about that. And there are no clues there. The thick shadows and crowded trees make these woods a good hiding place. Okay. Dang, I wish I had a better desk. Okay, so Cold Spring Glen. No clues. I guess I'm going to wait for the thrall to come to me. So what do I want to do? I'm gonna gain a resource. That's my second act, and my third act, I'll put down shriveling. It's got 4 charges on that. Okay, Lupine Thrall, come to me. I'm ready for you. Gained a resource, back to 0. And shriveling, put that down. All right, so that's all I got for that. Lupine Thrall, so enemy phase, Lupine Thrall moves to the Cold Spring Glen, will engage with me. The Brood, it can move to Blasted Heath or the Whiteley Ruins. It can either move from here, it can either move here or here. So 1 to 3, 4 to 6. It moves back to the Blasted Heath. All right. Okay, so I got a Lupine Thrall I got to deal with. Okay, so reset actions. Ready all exhausts. Draw a card. Getting Arcane Initiate. And gain a resource. Doom on the agenda. Eager for Death. Again, I get this. Test 2 willpower. Increase the skill test difficulty by 1 for each damage on you. If you fail, take 2 horror. So now it's once again, it's a 5. It's a 5 in order to pass it. He's got 4. I'm going to use Ward, Protection. Well, I could. I got to take the horror anyway. You know what? I'm going to do that. I played Eager for Death. That's what I pulled. We use 1 resource. Play Water Protection. Fast. Play when you draw a non-weakness encounter card, which is what that is. Cancel all of that card's effects and discard it. And then take a horror. Take the horror. Might as well use it. It's there. Might as well use it. So I don't have to worry about making the test. Rather take 1 horror than 2. All right. Okay, so we are in the Cold Spring Glen. We got to deal with this guy. It's our turn. So he's a 4. I have, and it uses a 3. We're going to use Shriveling on it. And Shriveling uses willpower instead on the Lupine Thrall. So first action is, so spend 1 charge, fight. This attack uses willpower instead of fist. You get +3 and deal +2 damage for this attack. Now, the problem is I could take horror for it if I fail it. So or could I just fight? See, I didn't get a weapon. I didn't get anything. You know what? I think we'll do, before I do Shriveling, let's see if I can beat it normally. 3, I get the beat cop, plus 1 is 4. And I'm going to utilize overpower, which will add plus 2, which is 6. So 6 on 4. Got it. That does 2 damage to the lupine thrall. We'll exhaust the beat cop. Do a damage to that, and the thrall goes away. Kill it. All right. That was the first act, so we didn't have to use shriveling. Second act. I think I'd rather go to Whately Ruins to fight those things. Blasted Heath, I don't know yet. I haven't been there yet. Cold Spring Glen doesn't really help much. Let's see. Second act. Each broad of young subject has plus 1 health and cannot be damaged or attacked except using the ability on esoteric formula. So let's go. Let's go back to the Wheatley Ruins. And third action, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. Actually, no, I'm going to take a resource. That's my third act. Reset. Reset. The Brood. It can go to either. It can either go to Dunwich Village, or back to the Devil's Hop Yard. So 1 to 3, 4 to 6. And it went right back to the Devil's Hop Yard. So right now it's just moving back and forth. It's not doing anything. Problem is I'm going to have to go face it because Doom, I'm going to have to go face it. All right. Reset the actions. Draw a card. Getting paranoia. Discard all your resources, which only had 1. But you get the resource back when you draw a resource because that occurs. Paranoia is actually not a bad weakness. You just lose all your money. That's really it. There are worse out there. All right. So, Mythos phase. Doom. Draw a card. Altered Beast. If there are no abomination enemies in play, Altered Beast gains Surge. Otherwise, choose an abomination enemy, heal all damage to the enemy, and attach Altered Beast to it. When you enter attach enemy's location, or vice versa, take a hard. But it already has it on there. Now that's one thing I understand. If it already has one, I add another one to it. So I'm thinking that on this one, Altered Beast. Yeah, it says if there are no abomination enemies in play, Altered Beast gains Surge. There is, but there already has one. Otherwise, choose an abomination enemy. Heal all damage to an enemy and attach Altered Beast to it. Okay, so that's fine. It wasn't hurt anyway. When you enter attach enemy's location or vice versa, take a horror, but it already has one. So I add another one to it. It's probably what I do. And now it's 2 horror if you get it. I don't know. Altered Beast. That's what you're reading. I know that's what I'm reading. So I'm going to put another one on it. It wasn't hurt anyway. So But now it says probably what? I would probably take 2 horror if I see it, or just still 1 horror. Okay. I'm going to say still just take the 1 horror. All right, so that's all there is. But now I got to get up there. So I actually got to go attack this thing. So I think I have enough to do it. I think each one will trigger, and I'm taking 2 hard. That's what I'm thinking also. I'm also thinking I'd take 2 hard. I can take 2 hard, but... All right, let's go after it. So I'm going to say, okay, so fine. So first action is the... Now, Devil's Hop Yard, is that connected to Whately Ruins? Yes, it is. So we can go right into that. So I'm going to take the 2 horror, up to 6, which means I cannot be hurt by this thing, or at least it can't be. Devil's Hop Yard. Still others try to explain the Devil's Hop Yard, a bleak, blasted hillside where no tree, shrub, or grass blade will grow. There's a clue there. The creature follows you into the mud. Each investigation in Devil's Hop Yard may place 1 of his or her clues on an abomination enemy in Devil's Hop Yard. Group them at once per game. All right. All right. So there's 1 clue there. Creature, and we engage it. That was our first action. Creature follows you into the mud. Each investigator in Devil's Hop Yard may place 1 of each of his or her clues on an abomination enemy in Devil's Hop Yard. Group limit once per game. A recent downpour has made the Hop Yard muddy and difficult to slog through. So we're now engaged with this thing. And it's not an action, it's automatic, so we throw a clue on it. It's not an action. So it's not an action. So we throw a clue on it. Now, it only has each brood of young Sothoth gets +1 health and cannot be damaged or attacked. It only has 2 health. That's the thing. It only has 2 health, but I got to defeat it with a 6. So we have to use the esoteric formula. So fight. This attack uses willpower instead of strength. You get +2 for this attack for each clue on the attacked enemy. Use this ability only on abomination enemy. So we have a 4. +2 is a 6. I'm going to go ahead and utilize Arcane Initiative, which will make it a 7. And Unexpected Courage to make it a 9. We will use Grotesque Statue. But do I want to use that many right now? You know what? I'm going to save Unexpected Courage. I'm just going to use the Arcane Initiative and make that a 7, because I'm going to utilize the Grotesque Statue. So, all right. So we're going to use, so it is 4 + 2 is 6. Arcane Initiative makes 7. So we got 7 on 6. We'll use 1 charge of Grotesque Statue as I draw 2 Chaos tokens and choose 1 and ignore it. So I got a 7 on a 6 to do 1 damage on it. So 7 on a 6. The first one succeeds. The second one succeeded too. It succeeds. So I'll take the doesn't matter which one we won both. We won both of them. So that brood gets hurt on that. And now we will, for the third act, we'll try to do it again. But this time, so it's going to be again, so it still has the clue. So it's So it is, again, 4 plus 2 is 6. This time I'm going to use the hypnotic gate. Hypnotic gate. Well, we'll use it there. No, actually, it doesn't help me. My bad. Let's do unexpected courage. So it's going to be 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. So it's an 8 on 6 to kill this first one. So we'll use a grotesque statue. So again, we draw 2. So 8 on 6. First one, reveal another token. If you fail this test, take a horror. Second one, +1. I'll ignore the cultist. I will take the +1, and this guy goes away. Goodbye. So 1 dead. All right. Very well. Okay. So we killed that one. So one more we got to go get. All right. That was the third act. It was the third action. So all right. So no enemies. Reset. Draw a card. Getting hypochondria. Add hypochondria to your threat area. After you take 1 or more damage, take 1 direct horror. Great. That was the one madness I drew from the earlier. I didn't know it was hypochondria. All right. 1 more damage, take 1 direct horror. I'm already at 6. I can take 2 more horror, but that's it. And we get a resource. All right. So Doom on the agenda. That's 4 of 6. Draw a card, getting Whippoorwill, Aloof, Hunter. Each investigator of Whippoorwill's location gets -1, -1, -1, -1. It is vowed that the birds are psychopomps lying in wait for the souls of the dying. It is aloof, though. I do not have to engage it. We were at Devil's Hop Yard, not Waiting Ruins. Okay. So I do not have to engage the Whippoorwill if I don't want to. It is aloof. All right. Well, we'll do 2 acts and get rid of that. And the third act will investigate. I'll utilize a final flashlight. So it's going to be, they'll make that a 0. So 3 on 0. When we succeed, we get that clue. And that's it. I'm not going to engage the Whippoorwill. All right. So that was a quick round, wasn't it? Whippoorwill is aloof. It stays where it is. It's a hunter, but I'm already there. But it's aloof. It does not engage me. So no enemies, no attacks. So upkeep, reset, draw a card, getting Defiance, and a resource. All right. I think we're doing pretty good, Phoenix. Got to get 1 more, though. 5 Doom. And draw a card. Unhallowed Country. Put Unhallowed Country into play in your threat area. You cannot play ally assets. Treat the printed text box of each ally asset you control as if it were blank. At the end of your turn, test 3 willpower. If you succeed, discard Unhallowed Country. All right. Well, I cannot play ally assets. I have one already there. But now you treat the printed, but now it's a blank. The beat cop is now a blank while I'm there. Okay. Well, I'm going to move into the blasted heath. That's what I'm going to do here. So let's go to the blasted heath. It's the only place left. Not opened up yet. So first act, moving to the blasted heath. The summits are too rounded and symmetrical to give a sense of comfort and naturalness. And sometimes the sky silhouettes with a special clearness, the queer circles of tall stone pillars with which most of them are crowned. Force, at the end of your turn, if you're in blasted heath, take 1 damage. Ouch. All right. Okay, so that means I can only stay there for a minute. Well, it can take the damage though, but still. All right, so that was the first act. Second act, we'll go ahead and investigate. It's got a 3, so it's a 3. Discard the flashlight for 4. So let's do a 4-on-3, shall we? We fail that one. In the third act, I'm going to move into the 10-acre meadow and avoid the damage. All right. So that's it for that. Now the Doom is going to move, but I think that's going to bring out the other brood, which is pretty much what I really want to do. So enemies, Whippoorwill's a hunter. And let's see. The 10-acre meadow is not connected to the Devil's Hop Yard. So it would either move into the Wheatley ruins or the blasted heath. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. 1 to 3, move the blasted heath. All right. Sorry, this is just not. I just don't have a desk set up for Arkham Horror that well. Okay, so that's the enemy phase. Reset, draw, getting another ward of protection, and resource. Doom will advance the agenda, which is wonderful. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If there is a set-aside brood of Yog-Sothoth, the lead investigator reads it out loud. Black storm clouds churn overhead, and a blanket of rain pelts the countryside. As the downpour grows in intensity, you take refuge in a half-ruined shack nearby. There is a flash of lightning, and in the brief illumination, you spot the outline of something large in the rain. Without warning, the distant trees bend, though nothing seems to be bending them. Moments later, a force with the strength of a truck crashes into your refuge. Spawn 1 of the set-aside brood of Yog-Sothoth enemies at the lead investigator's location, if able, which we do. The 10-acre meadow. Then each investigator at the location tests for agility. The newly spawned brood of Yog-Sothoth makes an attack against each investigator who fails this skill test. Well, let's put it this way. If I fail, he dies because he does 2 and 2, and he's already at 3 and 6. So I got to pass it. Oh, I never tested willpower to see if I can get rid of Unhallowed Country. What was that, a 3? 4-on-3? We succeed. But that would have been shuffled into the deck anyway. So let's do that. At least we get rid of that thing. So we have 4. So we got to test 4 agility. So we got to use Hypnotic Gaze, which is 5. The other Hypnotic Gaze, which is a 6. Water Protection, 7. So we're going to do 7 on 4. 7 on 4 there, Phoenix. If I fail, he dies because he's going to do 2 horror and 2 damage and 2 horror. The 2 damage won't kill me, but the 2 horror will go ahead and will do so. So, this is a very important touch of the phone. 7 on 4. 7 on 4. We succeed. We live. -1. All right. Agenda 3A. It was no joke tracking down something as big as a house that one could not see, but that had all the vicious malevolence of a demon. Each abomination enemy gets +1 fight and +1 evade. At the end of the enemy phase, move each a brood of Yog-Sothoth enemy once toward a random location. All right. Now, so I'm already engaged with the thing. Now I got to draw a card. And it is Frozen in Fear. That is probably the worst card I could have drawn. That's probably the worst card I probably could have drawn. That is the worst card I could have probably drawn. Okay. It has +1 fight and +1 evade, but does not have +1 health. So it still has 2 health I got to do on it. I could try to evade it, but I think I'm just going to go for the kill. And unfortunately, Frozen in Fear means I have to use 2. I can only have 2 actions instead of 3. And if I fail in killing it, I die. So the good news is the grotesque statue will help me out. So let's play it. That could not have come at a worse time. But all right. So the Brood of Yog-Sothoth gets +1 health and cannot be damaged or attacked except using the ability on this. But now its attack is a 7. We're in the 10-acre meadow. You set a bait using a live animal. Each investigator in 10-acre meadow may play one of his or her clues on an abomination enemy in the 10-acre meadow. So we get to do that. That's not an action. So that means we have a 4 plus 2 is a 6. We're going to play Defiance. Before revealing Chaos tokens for this test, choose one of the following symbols. Ignore the effects of the chosen symbol during this test. I do not have to ignore the skull because the skull helps. I'm going to ignore the elder sign symbol. So it's going to be a 7 on 7. You think I probably should play Shriveling anyway and make it an 8 on 7? Probably, because Shriveling doesn't really help me here. Because Shriveling, I can't use Shriveling on it. I can only use what's good here. Shriveling won't hurt it. I think maybe Yeah. No, I'll keep shriveling for the last one. I'll keep shriveling for the last one. Because I still have another grotesque statue, which is a wild. So, all right. So, in order to beat the brood of Yog Sothoth, I didn't move the whippoorwill, didn't I? That last one, right? Or did I move it the last? Oh no, this is the new phase. I moved the whippoorwill the last time. Right, the whippoorwill moved the last one. That's right. So it stays what it stays what it is. Okay. So the brood of Yog Sothoth is here. All right. So frozen in fear. Golden gives me 2 actions to kill this thing. We'll use the first one from the grotesque statue, which allows us to draw two symbols. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Utilizing defiance, plus 1 is 7. Ignoring the elder sign. So we have 2 chances to draw. So it's an 8 on 7. First token. That's 0. You must either remove all clue tokens from a brood of Yog Sothoth in play, or this token's modifier is -4 instead. Second one, -2. Well, the thing about it, so it's 0. He does hit him. So you must either remove all clue tokens or Brood of Yog Sothoth in play, or this token's modifier is -4. I should have chosen that one, not the Elder Sign. So he does do damage. The -2 doesn't help me, so I got to do this. But the clue is now gone. But I can still go after it, though. We got to evade it. We did 1 damage on it. I got to evade it. The beat cop cannot kill it. So I have to evade it. Because without it, I don't think I can kill it without this, right? Without clues, I won't be able to do any damage to it. Cannot be damaged or attacked except using the ability on the esoteric formula. So I have to use that +2 for the attack on each clue. Well, if I don't, it would only be a 4 on 7, which would be almost. I got to evade it. He's got a 2. Use other grotesque statues a 3, but its evasion is a 4. So we'll use the other grotesque statue. And discard it. So it is a 4. It's going to be a 3 on 4. So 3 on 4 for the third act to evade it, at least not getting killed this time. So 3 on 4. The 0 doesn't work. The -2 doesn't work. And he dies. Because 2, 2. So 5, 8, gone. Lose again. Well, another loss in the world of Arkham Horror. And I don't think it would have mattered. Yeah. You did all you could to stop the rampaging monsters, but there were more of them than you realized, and you weren't able to slay them all. Exhausted and terrified, you retreat to Zebulon's home and hope to survive the night. And our next scenario is scenario 6, where doom awaits. Almost, guys, almost, but not quite enough. But we'll get them next time. Thank you all for whoever watched this. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out to the movie theater. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. We'll see you next time on Arkham Horror. The game where really you try to win, but no matter what you do, you just come up with a loss. See you guys next time.